Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears, live an awesome life, and supply you tools. I've got all kinds of tools to help you manifest anything. Today we're going to do an ego test. Are you ready for this? And you're thinking, oops. Yeah, okay, we know what the ego is. The ego is self-serving. The ego must be right. The ego thinks that things should be a certain way according to its experience. Everything that you've experienced up to this point is your energy field collecting information and all of your choices along the way according to what you believed about those experiences. In other words, if you felt like a victim, if you had abuse and you made a choice to be a victim, then your life path will be different than the person who was abused that decided that, that this is just a classroom and that they need to forgive if they want to move on, and that they can just look at their parents as damaged people who also had to go through the same things that all of us do, is that learning how to become better people, evolve, right? And so we can see that experience as part of our lesson that we chose, or we can say, I didn't choose it, I'm a victim, I don't, bad karma, or whatever else, okay? So everything's a choice, and it is true. Everything is true for you. It doesn't have to be true for everybody else. Now, have you ever noticed that people have to make you wrong to be right? So let's see if we can see it. Can you see the Buddha back there? It's a Buddha head. It's actually, I don't think it's a Buddha head. I just think it's a piece of art. It's funny how we will be on spiritual channels and then we'll turn around and make comments about like the evil Buddha or something. And I was thinking, we're not even listening to ourselves. I can't tell you, how funny I think it is when people say, Landria, you need to take time off. You're shooting videos every day. You must take time off. Give yourself a break. And I thought, boy, if you only knew the life I lived. Those are all scheduled videos. I stockpile them, and then I just say, on this date, at this time, and they all go out automatically. Well, I'm in Italy or up in the mountains, and I live an amazing life. You don't know anybody. We do not know that person who's angry at work. We don't know that person who's on the street homeless. We know nothing about them. Absolutely nothing. And you can think you do, and that's your ego. Having to name things, having to be right, having to put things in boxes. Are you doing that? Do you have to be right? Do you have to make somebody wrong to be right? Do you have to oppose something? And that if you're a Republican, then the Democrats are wrong. Or if you're a Democrat, the Republicans are evil. Or this goes on and on and on. And it's all according to how you've been programmed. If you were in another country, you'd be completely different. You'd think completely differently. If you were brought up as a Muslim instead of a Christian, you would be thinking completely differently. So why is that? Because we're just a product of our environment and our programming as individuals. So from that comes these decisions that we make and our beliefs and everything else. Well, if you go into the ego will take that and amplify it. Awakened people will grasp onto nothing. They may have opinions. They may think a certain way, if they think at all, but they will not impose it on other people. And it's okay to have your opinion. It's okay to have your beliefs. When you impose it on somebody else, or you're even thinking that they're wrong, you are 100% operating in the ego, and that is just a dense place to be. This is separation. This is what we must work past. That's the number one thing we must work past on this planet, is that ego, that density. Where this is how things are, and we're going to actually fight each other for it. I want something, and I will kill you for it. Money or whatever it is the ego 100% needing something for itself. It feels like there's lack, so it has to get things, and it has to, get it from other people because it feels like there's just limited amounts of things. It has to be right. It has to justify itself. The ego is insatiable. Are you operating from that? Watch yourself. Watch what you say. And do you get angry? So I've had couple people, put these angry comments. I'm out of here. I'm like, oh, well, no, so you could have been out of here without the comment. And go, that's great. Go to another channel. That's cool. But they have to say, you're wrong and I don't like this and I'm going, and there's anger. And so it's like, why do we have to do that? Because the ego is in charge. The ego has to be right. The ego has to be angry at other people who don't think the way that they do or don't say what they want them to. Nobody knows the other person. You don't know what they're thinking, what they've been through, what's happening in their lives. You know absolutely nothing about them. And even if it's a close family member and you think you know, you have no idea what's going on in here and here. We don't know anything. And so judgment, well, that's not a good place to be, right? He without sin cast the first stone. But boy, we are throwing stones like crazy all day long. And this divides the world and each other. Is your ego in check? Are you making judgments all day? Judgments is an ego-based reaction. 100%. 100%. Is my way of thinking right? 100%. If you think that what you believe is the way things should be, then you absolutely are 100% an ego. So you are now in a destructive space. The collective consciousness doesn't benefit from that. So instead of the world, being right in the world, how about thinking about the collective consciousness? If you can go into that space, now it's a different ballgame. So instead of being here, the material world, and this should be this way and this way, and and they're bad, and murder's bad, and all this stuff, and political stuff, all of it, religion, everything, even our spiritual speaking. If anybody argues about it, they are totally in density, 100%, and they are part of the, well, not really problem, but they're part of the destruction of the planet. If you want to contribute that way, go ahead. Because everybody else that's going in the fifth dimension won't have anything to do with it or you. Nobody wants to be around that. So if you go over here into that space where there are no rules, everybody has their own reality they get to create. There's no judgment. There's nothing. There's just nothing. It's just pure love. It's being human. It includes experiencing pain and feelings, emotions, loss. It is part of that experience. You're going to experience all those things. How you react to them is what's going into the collective. And if you're going into this right, wrong, and conflict of any kind, then you are now a detriment to the collective consciousness. And that's the only thing that counts. That stupid opinion at the cocktail party, that person says something crazy and you're like, and then you have to say something, then pretty soon there's an argument. Oh, it's stupid. It's not going to matter. When we're gone, none of that will matter. You won't even remember any of that stuff because it's ridiculous. All of it. What's important? That we all get along. That those words have no power over you. Somebody's opinion has no power over you. And those who are going into a destructive space, is conflict and battling against them improving anything? The war against drugs has done nothing. The war against cancer has done nothing. We are not healthier. You know what's happening? Those who go into that space of peace where we can actually heal ourselves. We really can do this. I'm not recommending this. I'm not a doctor. But when we go into that powerful space of pure love, no judgment, nothing negative whatsoever even crossing through your mind, that's where miracles happen. And we can all do that. But we're so stuck in the material world that our egos can't separate that, what we see from what we are. Is your ego in operation? Catch every one of your thoughts and ask yourself, is that an ego-based thought? If it's an opinion and a right and wrong, is there anger of any kind? Are you telling somebody else what they should and shouldn't do? It's none of your business. That person's life and how they live is none of your business. Unless somebody solicits your opinion, keep it to yourself. Why? Because only the ego needs to tell other people how to live. We don't know them, or what their path is, or what they're supposed to be learning, or what they've chosen, and what they need to work through to become an evolved soul. So, let's mind our own business. Let's share the goodness that we desire to share with other people, that if they come to you, people tune into my channel. I say, if you don't like it, bug out, man. You don't have to listen to it. You'll find your teacher. You'll find the person that speaks to your heart. If it's not me, I desire for you to find that person that speaks to your soul. But I don't have to be wrong for you to go do that. Right? Same thing with anything else in your life. That boss doesn't have to be wrong for you to go to a new job. It just isn't right for you. What is it for you? For me. Remember I told you 2 super powerful words. For me. Right? That's wrong. For me. That's ugly. For me. Your opinion is not the world's. We all came here to experience our individual expressions. That's purposeful, because we are just one. And we are here as a seemingly separate entity to everything else, and that's not true at all. But we're getting to experience that. So can you let others just experience theirs without having to impose your ego on it? Catch yourself every single moment. If you're doing that, you're going to be so unhappy if you spend your life trying to dictate to people how they should act and live and work and believe. That's no better than the higher-ups in governments and all the people that have told us how we should act. And look at where it's placed us. It's time to take charge. Be that peace. Be that power. Be there for others who ask you for it. If they desire your assistance or your opinion, by all means, you can give it. And be kind with that too. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.